All right, good morning. Today is November the 6th, and it's about close to 9 o'clock in the morning. So I want to do a quick update on the euro because I believe last Friday I was unable to post after the non-farm payroll, and I made a post on the day before that with my expectations of the euro. So just to take a look at the euro now to see what's most likely going to happen, in my opinion, and based on my accounts, is as follows. So on the 360-minute chart, I have the 1, 2, and then I have the 3 here. I just haven't labeled it yet, which is a possibly this will be basically the A here, the B here, and then the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is a ending diagonal C for 4, and then we are currently in wave 5. Now, support levels that I'm actually paying attention to is obviously where this blue line is at, which is the previous low of around 1580. In order for prices to continue lower, based on my labels, or this is 1570, 1570. Let's go to the 60 minutes so you can just see a little bit better. All right, so current lows was around here at roughly around 1560 or so, 1575, and the new low is 1580. So it is close to the support level, which is one or two things can happen. Number one, this can be the turning point here, and then sometime tomorrow, if prices was to break above 1630 again, well then prices most likely will continue longer. However, if it finds resistance near the 1615 level, more towards right here, 1614, anywhere between 1614 and 1620, then most likely it'll bounce from that resistance level and continue lower. And at that point, it may break the 1580 level. Until price breaks this low of this 1575, you shouldn't, if you're not in the trade, you shouldn't do anything. If you're in the trade, well then at that point you were currently even you can see my stop is at 1636, and roughly I'm up 75 pips. So it's a good trade. However, most likely if I see that a turning point is near, and as you can see this little small impulsive bar from 1580 to 1601, which is only 20 pips, but if it breaks my 4x1 on my Gann fan, which is also my resistance level on my Ichimoku cloud, if it breaks through here, well then it most likely will continue through to 1625 and go a little bit further up. At that point, I would lower my stop to 1624. That way I don't lose too much on the trade, and then I would just wait for a pullback to see if I can go long. But being that if you go back to a 360, this is not finished. So if this is 3 and this is 4, well then right now currently you will have a truncated 5. And I can't count 5 waves even in this particular, even if you go down to the smallest of time frames. Everything is still pointing down, including the RSI. And I don't pay too much attention, but on a larger time frame, it still has room to the downside. And if you can see here where it made the low, look how under the 30 line on the RSI, look how low it went. But then you have this current low here, and that's pretty much where it is. But that's a double-sided sword. So one or two things can happen. If you're paying attention to the RSI, you can look at it in two different ways. One, that this is divergence and possibly a move up, or two, being that the green line is still pointing down and is still on the other side of my yellowish line. Prices are still going to move to the downside. So it really just depends on if you are an RSI trader. I am not. I just kind of look at it for a little bit more of a confidence, but I don't pay too much attention to it. It's just good to have there just for some guidance. So in that event, the way I see it and the way I'm expecting it to go, which doesn't mean it's going to do that, but it may point up roughly to about 16.15, give or take, no higher than 16.20. Find some resistance and it just shoot down. That's my expectations. However, if it does shoot down, tomorrow is a turning point day, which means that I'm anticipating a reversal. So it's a reversal day. So if that's the case, prices should, based on my labels, price should go down, most likely either break this particular support line of 1575 or so, and make a new low, and then the turning point will be tomorrow, and prices should go up. But until that happens, currently on a smaller time frame, the trend is down. Everything else, most likely the trend is up. So if you're a seasoned trader, then you pretty much know what to do already. If not, if you're not currently in the trade, technically right now there's really no good entries. You would pretty much want to wait even to go long. You would want it to break 1580 and then see where it's actually extreme oversold basically before you actually take an entry going long. And if you were to go short, then you would want to see if it was going to go to that 1620 level, and then if it did come over here to around the 1620 level, which is around here, well then you could go short, but then you're looking at about a 40 pip stop loss. So that just depends on your particular comfortability and your risk management. So I'll have something tomorrow. As prices and these labeling get clear, as the market gets clear, I'll post something tomorrow. Quick update on the 240 of the pound. So I actually went long, and everything is pointing in a good direction, which is, and keep that in mind too, if the dollar is weak and you see the pound has basically the dollar has been weak in the pound, one or two things should happen in the pound. If this is the case, then price should find resistance right here around 131.81 and then continue down. If it breaks that, well then I should be expecting also a long at some point in the euro too. So I have to keep an eye out on both of these charts, because it's rare that you can take a long and go well above a 100 pips in the pound and then be short well above 100 pips or so in the euro. It normally doesn't like to happen like that. They're pretty much correlated, but they're not correlated to a T. So this particular long in the pound may be giving me a signal in the euro that the euro most likely at 1580 may be that particular low. However, if this pound finds some critical resistance near this 31.75, 31.80 level, then I will be able to relabel this as short at some point. But right now I'm up, so I can't complain. And in this event, it's still going up. So at that point, I basically move my stop up, and my stop goes to 31.15. Once it kind of breaks down, I get stopped out. So I got half of the. It's a free trade. One more market I want to look into, which I think I'm still in, is the New Zealand. I said last week that New Zealand would probably come somewhere to around 69.90. This particular move here, if this is a 3, this is an A, this is a B, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for 3 possibly, then 4, and then hopefully this will be a 5 for wave 4, if that's the case, because wave 4 could be here, and then all of a sudden you see a 1, 2 move and then down. So I've already raised my stop. And prices did break this particular resistance level of 169.10, but it only broke it by about 10 pips, so that doesn't mean it can't go back down. However, that's two markets, the New Zealand and the pound, that are both going up. Meaning, and then the euro's going down, or the euro's pretty much been going down since yesterday or since Friday. So that just gives me more indication that I need to be careful with my euro short, and at some point I'll either want to exit and take a position long, or just keep a close eye out on it. Then we have the Aussie dollar, and I'm not bad. I'm only down a pip or so, a couple pips. But if this is a C, I have this as a 1. Possibly price is going to, it most likely going to be a B, probably a C for A or W if this is the 1. But this particular labeling and this particular pattern is not that clear. So because this can be, if this is a B, which I've followed this for well over a year, the C could be done. Because if the C is not done, well then technically when price hit 76.25, it already entered the territory of wave 1, even right here. Now that just depends on where you put your 1. If you put your 1 right here, well then no, it didn't enter the territory of wave 1. But this is really difficult to count 5 waves. Or this is not a wave 1. This is A, this is a B, this is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for C. That, and then if that's the case, price could continue much lower than that. So keep an eye. I'm gonna keep an eye on this and see what's the best scenario for the Aussie. And with that being said, I'm gonna end it on my euro like I started, because I don't think I'm in the CAD anymore. I think I got out of the CAD. Yeah, I got out of the CAD once price found support here. I'm in resistance here. I was long a couple hundred pips and I got out. So I'm gonna wait till this kind of plays itself out and see, and most likely try to either go long again. But if it works out the way I'm seeing it, price may go from here all the way down to 15.79, which would go inside with the euro long, with the pound long, with the New Zealand possibly long, and with the Aussie possibly long. Basically, that's basically saying that the dollar should be getting a little bit weak. So with that being said, I'm going to end this. I want to keep this short as possible, and we'll have something either tonight or first thing tomorrow morning. I hope this helped. Happy